Hey, Yinz guys and gals, gather around for a journey like no other. It's time to hop on board the Yinz Goin podcast. From the rivers that meet at the point to form downtown Pittsburgh, to the sheer face of Half Dome, to the furthest corners of the globe, Matt will be your compass, your confidant, your companion as we explore the wonders of travel. So sit back, relax on your couch, and let the wanderlust whoosh over Yinz as we discover new horizons and reminisce about old favorites. With Matt by our side, the sky's the limit. Join Matt on the Yinz Goin podcast because when it comes to travel, the journey's just getting started. And now, without further ado, let's give a shot for your guide through the highways and byways of travel. Your planning partner, the man with the map, Matt Schraeder. How Yinz doing? Welcome to the Yinz Goin podcast. I'm Matt. I'm your host. Joining me for the third time is Jenny, who was on a podcast to talk about Washington, D.C. and San Juan, Puerto Rico. Welcome back, Jenny. It's good to talk to you again.
You as well. Thank you for having me.
And we also have another special guest, at least for a little bit. My daughter, Indy, is joining us. You want to say hi, Indy?
Hi.
And so today we are going to talk about going to the theater, or if you want to be your old fancy, the theater or the theatre, depending on how you want to spell it. Is it ER or RE at the end?
I always see it RE. That's how I see it. So
I guess it depends on how much tickets are, huh?
yeah, I think so.
So while India's here, she wanted to talk about her experience, her first time seeing a live theatrical performance. What did we go see, Indy?
We saw Wednesday Adam and we saw Lurch.
Yeah, so we saw The Addams Family, the musical, in October, and India she's been crazed over Wednesday since seeing the show on Netflix, and she absolutely loves Thing. And what did you get for your birthday?
I got Thing. Can I show it?
Well, it's upstairs, so we can't show Jenny right now. But Indy got a little remote controlled thing, the little thing hand, and she thinks that is like so amazing, isn't it? Because he moves on its own, huh?
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
And now, whenever we went, the actors were all high school students or younger, but they were so good that there were some of them that, before I read the playbill, I thought they were adult actors. That they pulled things off
Wow.
so well. And
Mm-hmm.
who did you get to meet afterwards, Indy?
Wednesday Adam.
You got to meet Wednesday, and who else did you meet?
Oh man.
Who'd you give the candy to?
Wednesday.
No, you didn't give it to Wednesday. You gave it to someone else. You got your picture with Wednesday.
Her brother.
Yeah, we saw Pugsley, and Indy wanted to get. She bought a little candy bouquet, and she was going to give it to Wednesday, but we couldn't find her. So we found Pugsley, and Indy gave it to Pugsley, and then we saw Wednesday a little bit later on, and she got her picture with her, right?
Yes, and I saw
That's really really cool.
Wednesday or her brother was sleeping, and then someone come up.
Oh, whenever they were in the play.
Yeah, a girl was like, the brother was sleeping, and then someone come up.
Oh, was that on the TV show or in the play?
The play.
Oh, and then Indy's favorite part was there was one scene in the play in which Wednesday had Pugsley tied up to a rack. And whenever Wednesday would turn the little handle and stretch it out, what did Pugsley do?
Screamed. Did he even hurt him?
No, not for real. And even if it did, Pugsley would have liked it. So, you know.
He likes to be hurt. That's true.
And the young gentleman who played Lurch, throughout the whole, here, spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen the play and you want to, throughout the whole play, he's just, doing the grunting type thing that Lurch does.
And walking so dumb.
He walked weird in a weird way. Yeah. Well, he's kind of stiff, so it happens. It means he's kind of like Frankenstein, and he's kind of put together with parts, I think. So, but then towards the end, there's a song that they're singing, and Lurch comes out center stage, and I was just, I was kind of expecting him to just do like some of his grunts and kind of make it a comedy thing. He had the most amazing baritone voice. I was like, oh my gosh, what are you hiding here, Lurch? Let's hear more of Lurch singing. It was such a surprise, but such a pleasant surprise, and he did such a good job that
Why does he even talk like that?
that's how Lurch talks. It's okay.
Does he talk like that all the time?
Whenever he's Lurch, yeah. We watched some of the 1960s TV show of Wednesday or of the Addams Family too, and Lurch does that as well, huh? Yep. And Indy got the snapping
That
down
means they
too.
did their homework. Yeah, they did their homework for the play then.
Absolutely.
Who?
Now, with it being a theatrical production of high school kids and younger, you don't expect to have Broadway quality performances. That, some of the dancers were definitely not as good as you see on Broadway or with professional, you know, performances, but they were good. I mean, it's for being a high school kid or, some of them grade school kids. It's like, all right, I got to give you props. They showed some talent and some promise for later on.
Yeah, that's great. Like that's the starting level. I mean, they have to start somewhere to be on Broadway or to, be anywhere else. So I think it's great that the schools we have musicals around here too. And I remember going to see our high school do Sound of Music a few years back. And same thing, man. It was so good. They had put in the time and practiced, and you would have thought that they were professionals doing that play. It didn't seem like you were watching young kids put on a play.
And Indy just ran upstairs and she brought the thing down. She wants to show it off.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
hold it
Let's
up for
see
the
thing.
camera.
Gotta zoom you up.
This is his smoke control.
Oh, that is so cool. I'm surprised you're not scared of that. That looks kind of scary.
And the thing looks pretty good that he, has the stitches lines
Yeah.
on them all, everything. And
Yeah. That
I
looks
think
pretty
everyone out there can
real.
hear him, kind of crawling around. So,
That's a pretty cool present that you got.
Oh, just that.
okay. And so now when you do move up to Broadway in New York City, there are, and this is some stuff that is actually pretty interesting that whenever you go to visit Broadway is it's not all that big. That there are 41 theaters. They're in Manhattan's theater district, and this is between 41st Street and 54th Street, and then between 6th Avenue and 8th Avenue. And to be a Broadway theater, it must have at least 500 seats. And then you hear
Yeah,
the
I had
terms,
no idea about that until I saw that in here. I didn't realize that.
yeah, there are different criteria for it. Now, there's off Broadway, which I've heard of, the off Broadway thing. There are about
Mhm.
60 of these. And now the exact number is unclear because there are multiple performance spaces in some complexes, so it depends on how you count the quote unquote theaters. But these will have between 100 and 499 seats. And these are not just on that little Broadway strip, these are all throughout New York. Then
Mhm.
the off Broadway, there's about 120 of these in New York, and these have fewer than 100 seats. And they're often found in the artistic neighborhoods like West Village, stuff like that. And now, if you're going to go to New York to see some shows, theaters are usually dark, quote unquote dark, which means no shows on Mondays. But some of them will have Monday shows.
They normally blink the lights to see if you're ready, and they do na 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 na.
Oh yeah, you got it good. Yeah, this is not
Yeah, that's
being
good.
dark in the theater, but Indy's right. Whenever it's time for the play to start or the theater, whenever the show to start,
Curtain, and then they open, and Wednesday comes out.
yeah, they dim the lights and blink the lights so you know they're about to get started. So everyone has to get in their seat, and then they were opening the curtains whenever they were doing the acts, and then they closed it. And Wednesday was there, and at the very end, they open and close them a couple times and let everyone come out and take bows, and everyone applauds, right? So yeah, some of the shows will have performances on Mondays, and then they'll be dark on a different day of the week. And then for those of you who can't stay up late, they have matinees. Now, this is nearly every Saturday and Sunday they'll have them, and often on Wednesdays is a big matinee day. And I've seen a few on different days of the weeks, like some had a Tuesday one or a Thursday one or whatever. But Wednesday's a big matinee day. So if you want to take a day off and go on a Wednesday, chances are you're not going to have a huge crowd. And now there are some other big cities in for theaters in the United States other than just New York. One is Chicago, which is right near Jenny's hometown. So this is where Jenny
Yes.
kind of like gets into it that she has like access to like these all these great theaters. And just a few, for example, are the Goodman Theater, the Steppenwolf Theater, and the Second City, which is famous being an improv comedy show place that, SCTV
Mhm.
back in the day. I remember watching that growing up. But
Jenny, what's your favorite movie?
you mean her favorite play? Here, do you
Movie
want
and favorite
if
play.
you
You
want
want
to
to
hear, you have to put
ask?
the headphones in. Yeah, your favorite. We were gonna ask it later on, but do you have a favorite play that you've seen, Jenny?
So, my favorite musical, because I prefer musicals over just plays. So, I would say my favorite musical of all time, and you probably, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's Les
Wednesday?
Miserables. Nope, it's Les
No.
Miserables. That's my favorite musical. It is super
It's
good. It is my favorite. I've seen it in New York, Chicago, Las Vegas. Where else have I seen it? Peoria, Des Moines. I've seen it in so many places. So that is my ultimate favorite.
and make sure no one looks down on it. So that is a fabulous one. I've never seen that live. I've only seen the film version of it.
The film version,
So,
yeah.
but
Live
still,
is so much better. It's going to be in Peoria, which is only an hour from me, in February. So we are taking my mother, who has never seen it live. My sister and I are going to take my mom. We just went and all seen Wicked together, which I know we're going to talk about eventually. But we're going to see Les Mis is touring again. So we're going to go see it in February. And I'm super excited. I haven't seen it in it's probably been 5 years since I saw it last, I think about when they stopped touring. So
and I think Jenny's invitation for me to come too must be in the mail or something.
it must be, yeah. It's going to be there over Valentine's Day week. So you could bring your wife. It could be fun.
That's tempting. Very, very tempting. So
Mhm.
now another big city is Boston, and they have several
Okay.
prestigious drama schools there, like the ART. And I love how that spells art. It's the American Repertory Theater. And so that there, it just fits.
Yeah.
LA is pretty big with the Amundsen Theater and the Pasadena Playhouse. Minneapolis, now they have a large number of theaters. They have nearly as many theaters as New York City. And one of the more famous ones is the Guthrie Theater. But Minneapolis, who knew? Well, I guess during the winter there, you can't do anything outside, so you got to be inside. So there you go, theater.
Yeah, that's good to know because that's not that far away from me either. So I never been to Minneapolis to see a show.
Cool thing about Minneapolis is that they have a bunch of tunnels underground because it's so cold that you can go from one building to the other without having to go
Oh, neat.
outside.
Oh, a town after my own heart. I hate the cold.
Yeah, I'm was just commenting the other day that I miss summer.
Already, me too. It was 60 today, which isn't bad, and I think it's going to be 70 on Saturday, but then it's going to dip way back down again. So,
And now we're recording this a little bit earlier than we're airing it, so it's not going to be 60 like when you're hearing this most likely.
oh. Yeah, in Illinois, it'll probably be 20. So there you go.
And now another one that is we mentioned actually when we talked about it or whenever Jenny was on before, Washington D.C. They have the Kennedy Center. And refresh my memory, have you have or have not been to the Kennedy Center for performances?
I have never, no. I have
Okay.
never been. I've been to Washington D.C. obviously, but not to the Kennedy Center.
Oh, there's a bucket list thing. There's another reason to go back to DC.
Yes. I exactly.
And that's a good time to go, like in the summer when it's hot and sweltering outside. It gives you a reason to be inside of the Kennedy Center. Get that air conditioning.
Nice.
Now, also another place heading out west is San Francisco. They have Broadway SF. It's the Golden Gate Theater and the Orpheum Theater in that area, and they usually don't have a standing theater company, but a lot of the touring companies go through the city. I'm sorry, Broadway SF is the like the group that kind of like organizes and runs stuff like that. But they work with the Golden Gate Theater and the Orpheum. Then another place that's, well, not a city, but it is kind of near and dear to Jane and I's hearts, the Disney Cruise Line. That
Yes.
they have some amazing, amazing theatrical productions on their cruise ships. So if you're going to take a Disney cruise, you're going to be in for a treat. Now, Walt Disney World Resort and Disneyland Resort don't have full theater productions, but they do have several stage productions. So you get a taste of it just in a shorter theme park version that kids can sit through a little bit better.
And I love the Lion King show at Animal Kingdom. That is probably one of my favorites and so well done for the amount of time that the show takes to watch. I think that they really pack a lot in that 20 minutes. It's so good.
Yeah, The Legend of the Lion King, that we saw that last year with India for the first time. And remember when they had the monkeys that were bouncing around at the Lion King show?
The
You know,
tumbling monkeys.
the tumble monkeys. Yep.
Uh-huh.
What do you want to say?
Yeah.
I have a favorite dancer.
A favorite dancer? Okay. Do you want to say?
Yeah. Who is it?
Do you know the one who shoots people?
The one who shoots people? What?
The one the one we were watching today?
That's not a play. No, that we were.
You're singing.
So we were watching the Squid Game competition show, not actual Squid Game with her,
Oh,
but the reality show Squid Game.
right.
So they got
I
shooted.
got you.
Yeah, where you get shot with paintballs and that's
Uh-huh.
all. So yes, we're not horrible parents
Okay.
exposing a 6-year-old to extreme violence like that.
Hey, no judgment here.
So, but no, Indy loved the Lion King, the Legend of the Lion King, because there was the stilt walker that was right next to us and was giving you heart hands and everything.
Who, Elsa?
Oh
No,
yeah.
the lady, the one
That's
girl who was
cool.
on the stilts on the big thing. She was like really, really tall.
Yeah, who did this?
I did some things. Yeah. Oh no, that was a different one in a different place. Who was doing the old granny walk? That was in
Was the same place.
that was in Malaysia.
No, it was the same thing.
So yeah, she's mixing up. We've
It's
been to
amazing
so
how
many
confused
places.
we
Yeah,
get at a young age.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
And now, if you do want though some Disney stuff, there's Disney on Broadway, which has Beauty and the Beast, which is touring the U.S. and that will go through September 6, 2026. And then if you're in New York, The Lion King is going through, and Aladdin will both go through at least June 28th, 2026. Lion King is at the Minskoff Theater on West 45th Street. Aladdin is at the New Amsterdam Theater on West 42nd Street.
And we've seen The Lion King where do we see it at? In Peoria. Yeah, that one came to Peoria, and it was super good. My daughter loved it. I think she was probably 12 at the time when it came through, 12 or 13. But it was a really good memory that we have going to, and we've only seen it one time, but oh my gosh, so amazing to be there and experience it live with the live characters and the music. So good. I highly recommend that one.
No, I haven't seen that live. I didn't see Aladdin, the Broadway show live, but years ago at Disney California Adventure out in Disneyland
Mhm.
Resort in the Hyperion Theater, if I enunciate, they had an Aladdin show, and
Oh,
that
cool.
was so good. that
Mm-hmm.
especially whenever I saw it, the young lady who played the carpet, the magic carpet, had no lines throughout the whole thing, but just her miming and her facial expressions. I mean, so she's like in this costume that looks like the carpet. So she's holding her arms out a little bit to make, and her feet out to make the, rectangular shape and everything, and her head's just sticking out.
Sure.
So limited movement and everything. But oh, she captured just, again, the facial expressions and just little mannerisms. Did such a good job of capturing the character and the emotions of the flying carpet that it was she was my favorite in the show.
I hear that show was amazing. Do you remember the genie?
Oh, the genie was, I don't remember who exactly it was, but he did a great job too. And
Oh,
um
Danny's his name, and he was our
okay.
adventure guide when we did the California Adventure Disney, um the blah, 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 California Adventure. It was Disneyland and Southern California Disney Adventure trip, and Donna went with. So it was Donna and I and Stephanie, and oh my gosh, it was we he was our adventure guide, and he was so amazing. He even did at our resort at California. Uh, the Hotel California, he did got on the piano and played and did his song um, from from the Aladdin musical, and oh my gosh, he was so good. But he was told us all about. I hadn't seen that one. We saw Rogers the musical when we went to California Adventure. That was at the
Yeah, the
Hyperion,
Captain America,
and
or well, yeah, Captain
yeah, huh?
America like
And that one,
timeline thing.
I was so surprised. Like, I'm not a Captain America fan at all. And oh my gosh, it was so good. I would have watched it 10, 12 times. It was super good. But I wish I would have seen Aladdin when it was there because Danny seems like, and he said all the other characters were spectacular too. So hearing you talk about the carpet makes me jealous.
Yeah, and as Aladdin and Jasmine were great too, and the guy who played Jafar and all that too. It's just
Hmm.
that just because her role was so limited in a sense that the
Sure,
carpet
sure.
it stood out. But yeah, the like even the live action Aladdin show with Will Smith that you can find on Disney Plus. It was made a couple years ago. He's fabulous as the genie too, and you need someone with that perfect character, just like Robin Williams was in the
Hmm.
original animated film.
Sure. Yeah, the facial expressions are everything when, like to your point, when they have limited movement within the costume.
And the genie kind of drives that show. That it's all about Aladdin and Jasmine and everything, but the genie is omnipresent in that, and he is like, you know, he
Hmm.
helps move it along.
Yeah. Well, he was a great guide. I mean, it was a wonderful trip. Adventures by Disney. If you haven't done it, it was a great experience.
And if you would like to hear more about that, check the archives of this podcast because we talked to Donna about that
Mm.
trip. And so she gushed about it.
Yeah.
And I'm also now very, very jealous of Jenny because she went too. So,
I did. It was a once in a lifetime trip, that's for sure. I mean, you've already heard all about it, but oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
and now another place that might surprise you a bit is my hometown of Pittsburgh. That in 2023, it was rated number 23 in the US for arts vibrancy. And it's routinely in the top 20 or the top 25. And just going through a little list of some of the theaters that are in the downtown area, I counted about 20 of them. Main ones there are the Benedum Center for the Performing Arts, the Byham Theater, BYHAM, the Heinz Hall for Performing Arts. And so I've seen a couple of different things there. We saw mainly symphonies, but the Nutcracker. I took my nieces to that several years ago whenever they were younger. Now they're in like high school age, but whenever they were younger girls, we took them and oh, they loved it. I've also seen productions in Erie, Pennsylvania, and then like we talked about here, Morgantown, West Virginia, and then I've seen some high school performances that my cousin was in plays growing up, and now she is the theater, um, I guess producer, I guess you could call it, at a local high school in Pittsburgh that she also teaches at. And so we've followed
Oh,
her
cool.
career around and seen a lot of her plays.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not sure if I have a favorite, but West Side Story is the one I've seen the most. And I think that's partly
That's a good one
because,
too.
yeah, it's fabulous. In both the movie versions too, the older one and then even the
Hmm.
newer one that was made,
Yeah.
that Steven Spielberg was part of. Um, those were great. That there was a time when I taught high school for a year, and the high school there put on a play, and then my cousin was in that play as well, and so we saw it like so many times in a row in a very short time. So, but
It's hard to pick a favorite. You're right. I mean, there's just so many that are good.
yeah, Meet Me in St. Louis. I got to see that when I was in college in Erie, and I know my mom and my grandma and some of my aunts have gone to New York City a couple times to see plays there. So, on Broadway. And so you see where I get it from. It's hereditary.
Yeah, my love for the theater was fostered by my aunt, who does not have any children. And so, since I'm the oldest niece, grandchild, she lives in Kansas City, and she would always get me in the summer for like a week. I would go stay with her, and we would go see musicals they have a theater in the park, which are just local adults, local kids. Um, so good. They would do a different show. It would run for like 6 weeks and then there'd be another one. So they do like 3 shows in the summer. And then Starlight Theater, which is their professional theater, they would have traveling shows come through. So I saw like Brigadoon, um, Meet Me in St. Louis. I saw that one there. Sound of Music, West Side Story. I mean, just so many. Carousel. And just seeing those, a lot of them were ones like Brigadoon I would never have been exposed to had I not seen it live. And just the memories. I mean, being 10 years old even and remembering when they sang Heather on a Hill and Brigadoon, all the smoke coming up when the imaginary city was coming into view. I mean, it's just magic. It's just magic that you're transported to a far off place. And eh, like that's where my love started, was back then. So I have my aunt to thank for my love of theater.
Yeah, and growing up, like I said, with my mom, she never took us to New York City to see Broadway plays, but we saw a lot of it on TV and watching Meet Me in St.
Mhm.
Louis. I remember having the VHS of that and watching that all the
Yeah.
time. And more recently, like whenever the pandemic started and we were homebound, that I watched Phantom of the Opera on TV. And there's something now, the movie versions that are made as movies are great, but there is something about seeing either the music live or seeing a filmed play version of a musical
Sure.
or theater. There
Hands down. Yeah.
with there's no special effects. Well, there not like we think of the special effects. Or there's no CGI or anything else or editing. That it's all right there live. And it was actually funny that in the when we saw the Adams Family play, that I think Wednesday called. She like has a boyfriend. She calls the boyfriend by his actual name, not his name in the play. And then, of course, they played it off.
Oops.
They did a great job playing it off. So I don't know if it was intentional or if it was planned, but she calls him, whatever, so whatever his name was. And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "I'm just keeping you on your toes." And so you get those little foibles and those possible mess
Sure.
ups that you then have to think quickly on.
I once read the difference between seeing a play or musical on stage versus seeing it on TV. And it always stuck with me was that theater places the audience in the same physical space as the performers, which then allows for a unique kind of engagement. Like it's an engagement you're not going to get just watching it on TV, because it brings the story to life in front of you and allows you to feel, read all of it in real time, and you can feel all the emotions. And I mean, I think it fosters empathy, love, grows so much inside of you more than just watching, let's say, West Side Story on TV, which is a great experience. But if you're there in person watching him die on stage and the tears, and you can just feel like you're part of the story, I guess. The story is coming to life around you and you are part of it as it's happening. It's just an experience like no other.
And the way I can make an analogy to that is if you've ever gone to any of the national parks, and I'm thinking specifically of Yosemite because that's my favorite place in the world to visit, that when you are there, you can feel the grandeur of the granite monoliths. Whenever you're up on top of one of the, on a ledge looking down 3,000 feet, or
Mhm.
you're, on the side of a cliff or something, climbing up, one of their trails, you can feel the space. And I think that's the best thing. You can feel the space that's
Sure.
around you, that you're looking up and there's nothing above you. Like there's no trees above you. You
Hmm.
look out and there's no other hills or anything. That it's feeling that in person versus seeing that either a picture or in a documentary or whatever else, that it does not compare. And you are so right,
Yeah, a
Jenny.
book doesn't do that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's something that the and I'll make another analogy this of teaching that I can give a lecture to and I've done this before of recording myself, teaching something, but then it's a whole other thing when I'm in the classroom in front of students and I can read their reactions and I can play off of
Hmm.
their energy. And you can
Sure.
you can tell that with and I've even talked to people who have, like my cousin, who have been in the theater, and they have said that, oh, I was kind of down going in because I was tired or whatever, or this happened, whatever, and then I felt the energy, and I heard the murmurs before the play, and then we came out, and heard the applause, and I think you hit the nail right on the head, Jenny, of that. Um, it's like an intimacy between the people when you make that connection.
Mhm.
And now,
Yes. I don't think I've ever cried as much as when I saw Phantom of the Opera. That one is a good one that just emotes so much feeling and emotion, but it's way different watching it on TV than it is being there in person and actually having the chandelier fall above your head and crash to the stage when you're there. I mean, that is completely different than seeing a chandelier fall on TV. I mean, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm part of this theater where all of this is happening. And yeah, it's yeah, like you said, pretty darn amazing.
another analogy is seeing
Computer
a sporting
songs.
event live. And there's something about whenever you're there that you get to see the periphery, that you get to use your peripheral vision and look around and see things that you're not going to see on camera. Like we were up on the mezzanine level in the balcony, and we could look down and we could see where the uh, lighting technician was sitting, and he was queuing up all the music because it was all recorded, and we could see what he like look on his computer and kind of see like how it changed and stuff. And you could see the actors come out from under the stage to do a little thing in front that they kind of popped up and were doing a dance. And you would not see that on TV if you were watching it. You get to look around and see some of the little things off to the sides, and depending on your angle, you might be able to look to the backstage and see this. And there's something about it to let you see the like behind the scenes stuff a little bit. But
Yes.
and going a little bit off track on this is seeing live music with like a symphony that I recently watched on Disney Plus, the John Williams concert in Tokyo. And this was recorded a couple years ago. But even just watching that and seeing the reaction of both the orchestra and the audience to seeing John Williams conduct some of his iconic music, even though I was not there, it was I felt it. And I was just thinking there whenever it was over and the audience is standing up and giving a standing applause and the orchestra is applauding John Williams and he's, about giving them applause and everything. I could just imagine the feeling of being there live. And I almost, was choked up a little bit there and I was thinking if I was there I'd be crying tears of happiness.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, orchestras are awesome too. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I'll have to. You said that was on Netflix or Disney Plus?
Disney Plus. Yeah,
Okay,
there are
I'm
two
making
things
a
I came
note.
across. Yeah, I'll send it to you later on. It was about
Okay.
John Williams live in Tokyo, or his performance in Tokyo, and then there's also a John Williams documentary that I have to watch. I haven't had a
Okay.
chance to start it yet. So there's your tips for the day for Disney Plus. But we're going to talk about other things that Jenny has gone to more recently. She went to New York City to see Hamilton, which I'm also very jealous about.
Hamilton is amazing. Hamilton's amazing. And I think seeing it in the theater where it came to life and where it was born is something that yeah, to your point, very blessed to experience. Um, and Leslie Odom Jr. was back to reprise his role as Aaron Burr. Um, so that was really neat to see. But yeah, just again, I've seen Hamilton on Disney Plus, and you watch it on TV, and nothing compares to watching something on TV to being there in the room where it happened, as one of my favorite songs from the movie. But being in the room where it happened and actually seeing all of it unfold in front of you, really good. And New York is fun to get around. You don't need a car. You don't need to take a taxi. You can just take the subway everywhere you go, or you could Uber, whatever. But I mean, we just found walking and taking the subway the best way to get around New York. Um, Never felt unsafe anywhere we went. I know a lot of people are always like, "Oh my gosh, you rode the subway in New York and you weren't murdered." No, we lived just fine. I mean, it's not like you're taking the subway at 3:30 in the morning in a sketch neighborhood. So know your area, know your surroundings, be aware. But never once did I feel unsafe when I was in New York. And we pretty much walked and used public transportation the whole entire time. We did not have a car. So, um, very easy to get around, like I said. And there's tons of theaters. So it's not like, you have Majestic Theater where Phantom of the Opera was born. You have Imperial Theater for Les Mis. They're all like within a rock throw of each other. So you can pretty much hit any theater um, within walking distance. So if you go to New York and you don't go see a show, then that's on you because there are plenty to choose from.
Like we said, with the just the Broadway district is 13 blocks by 2 blocks. So, what is that? It's going to be like a half of a square
Yeah.
mile,
Yeah.
something
Pretty
like that.
close.
So it's not a whole lot of walking to get from one end to the other. So you can, pretty much get from one, depending on how fast you walk, it will take you 20 minutes, maybe a half hour to go from the farthest end of one to the, one far end to the other on the other far end. And the one really neat thing about Hamilton is the revolving stage. That whenever I first saw that, it was like, they're doing something that's like, oh, it's, like, is that moving a little bit? And then it's like, it is moving. And that's just genius. And I know I've seen it in other things now more recently, but that was the first time I saw it. I don't know if it's unique for that or if I'm just, late to the party on it, but um, little nuances like that. And now my mom has been a holdout for seeing Hamilton because is very much admittedly not a rap fan. And she's like, well, I don't know if I'd understand it or I don't know if I'm gonna hear that. I was like, no, mom, it's not rap. This is speaking in
Yeah.
rhyme and completely brilliant with the lyrics and the dialogue.
Right. It's like it sounds like my husband. He's like, I'm not watching a rap musical. I'm like, it's not a rap musical. Come on.
It's a rhyming musical. It's almost like Shakespeare with the rhyming in it.
Yeah, it's amazing how he wrote all of that. I just sit there and marvel at his genius. Lin Manuel is a genius
And a great guy from Puerto Rico. So another thing close
and a
to
great guy from
Jenny's
Puerto
heart.
Rico. That's right. Yeah, he is a great guy from Puerto Rico.
And the other thing is, I've seen him on talk shows and whatever else being interviewed. Such a great personality that he is so down to earth and extremely intelligent of the things he's
Hmm.
talking about. He's like, and he'll point little things out of, oh yeah, we did this here because we wanted to match like this, and it was in this style here to be reminiscent of this thing here. It's like, oh my God, I never noticed that. It makes it even better.
Hmm. He's also so humble. Like any interview I've ever seen with him, he's just so down to earth and humble. Like he'd be very approachable. I feel like if I ever saw him, he would just be totally down to earth guy that you could just approach at the restaurant, the bar, whatever, and drive up a conversation with him.
And that's the thing. He's basically a kid from Puerto Rico who loved music and was good at it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
he's doing what he loves. And it's not, hey, I'm this brilliant, musical maker and, lyricist and whatever else. It's, yeah, I like music and that's what I do. And of course, there's his
And
stuff
he
with,
does it well, that's for sure.
well, that and Encanto too that he was in. And,
Uh-huh.
well, we won't talk about Bruno here.
Yeah, we won't talk about Bruno. And then Moana, I mean,
Yeah.
he's got that. That's what I was going to say for the people that don't know. He also has written quite a few of those Disney cartoons that your children love and probably sing to death around you. And those are his. Those are his babies.
Now, when we take another step back of the Puerto Rico stuff, that's another reason with I'm sure Jenny loves West Side Story.
Oh
I'm sure
yes.
I'm sure she's much more of a shark than a jet.
Probably. I like to go around like at work when my kids have not seen that movie. I keep telling them they need to watch it, but I'm like, I'm always doing the clap to be in America. I want to be in America. And I tell them, their little, how the ladies, how they felt when they came to America. And just such a fun movie. And like so true for back in the time when immigrants were coming over and how just seeing how they felt and how they were treated. Um, Another great, you and I both being history buffs. I mean, it's just another great nod to historical fiction, in a movie where you can see it come to life in front of you. You can read it in the book about, the melting pot of New York City, but to actually see it in a production and see how it affected people.
And to hear the awesome music to go along with it.
Right, right.
And that's one other thing I've talked
Makes
about on
it
here.
all the better.
Say it again.
I just said makes it all the better. Yes, when you
Oh,
can set it to
absolutely.
music, yes, for sure.
Yeah, I was talking over you, so I want to make sure we had that clearly recorded. That with having history come to life, Jenny and I talked about it on here whenever we talked about our uh, San Juan, Puerto Rico trip of being there and seeing that in person too. But I've also talked about on the episodes where we talked about Gettysburg and how reading the book The Killer Angels made history come to life for me. That it's not a musical, so we're not going to do that. But being able to hear people's thoughts and it's not just on this date at this time this regiment moved here, that you can get into and have more of a personal experience. You get more of a connection with the people who were involved with it, and then it makes it more personable. And then
I
Jenny got
still
to see.
Gettysburg is on my bucket list. I have not been to Gettysburg yet, so that's on my bucket list.
I'm a bit closer than Jenny is, so I'll give her a pass on that. So just make sure you listen to the podcast where we discuss it all before you go, or as you're there. Either way,
Okay.
it's good.
I've
Or
been to
both.
Antietam. I just haven't been to. Is that how you say it, Antietam?
Antietam, yeah,
Yep.
or
Okay. I've been
Sharpsburg.
there, and that was pretty amazing. But we didn't have time to go to Gettysburg when we were coming back from DC, so we just stopped there.
Yeah,
But
and
yes.
Roger and Tyler, the Civil War reenactors who were on to talk about Gettysburg a few times, they've petitioned me to do a podcast episode about Sharpsburg, Antietam, however you want to pronounce it, depending on if you're north or south, which way you're going to go. So that will be
Ugh,
in the works eventually. I'm shooting
I would.
for so
I will have to tune in for that one. So yes.
yeah, so we released all the Gettysburg stuff like on the Battle of Gettysburg. So we have to wait. I'm thinking next September for the anniversary of Antietam to have something along those lines. And now back to musicals and stuff. Jenny also got to see fairly recently Wicked.
Oh, I did in Peoria. Yes.
And so
And
just
that was what we took my mother to. So that was my very first Broadway type production. She's never been to anything. So that was the first thing she's ever been to. And she, the whole time, was on the edge of her seat. She said she just could not believe how amazing it truly was. Sorry, I'm trying
And
to
that
plug my phone in. I'm starting to go
yeah,
dead. There we go.
and that
Okay,
reminds me
I'm back.
of the movie Pretty Woman with Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. That
Mm-hmm.
whenever they're together, and he takes her to the opera,
Right.
and
Yeah.
whenever Julia Roberts there, and she meets an elderly lady who's been to operas her whole life and everything, and she says the first reaction to an opera for a lot of people is very very poignant, that they either love it or they hate it, and it's kind of like your mom. That's one of those things where I absolutely loved it, and I'm coming back again.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a play
Yep.
tomorrow that I can go to?
She
Type thing.
That's pretty much how it went. She said, I cannot believe that all your life you've been going to see these and you've never taken me and I've never gone to anything. I mean, she was always so busy, raising a family. And so I had the opportunities to go with my aunt, obviously. And then as I got older, you go in college and then you get married and then you're off. And it's not like, I guess I just never really thought because mom never had gone to any of those. But yeah, it just goes to show that include your family members. That's what mom said. She's like, I can't believe you never thought to invite me to this, but she loved it. So,
All right, we have
and
another
it was great.
another aficionado. Join the club.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I told her. Like I said, she's going to Les Mis in February, so it'll
She's
probably
hooked.
be the next of many. So,
Yeah, and I'm hoping that we can get. We'll have to see what else comes our way that we can go to that might interest my daughter, because um, she had a great time at the play. My wife, who is admittedly not a musical fan, although she's never. I don't think this might have been her first um, in-person musical experience. That whenever she went,
hmm
that like whenever we decide to watch a movie, it's like, hey, we can watch this, and she's like, it seems so unrealistic that the person would just break out singing. It's like, no, no. The point is they break out into song whenever they are moved so much emotionally that that's the only way you can express yourself.
that's how it. Yes, sounds like my husband. He was actually over here giggling a little bit in the bed behind me. Cause he's gone. He has gone with me to see Les Mis. What else? He's seen West Side Story and Les Mis, and he's not seen many other than he did really enjoy Les Mis. He said that it was very well done, and he didn't enjoy watching it on TV. He didn't really sit through it on TV. So that's another example of how the theater is going to affect people differently than watching something on television is going to do, because he did really enjoy being there in person and feeling the synergy of everyone within the theater and watching it that way. So,
That also says something
but
about
he's
even
not my
just
normal theater date.
that's also something even about seeing just a normal movie in the theater, that the movie theater experience is different from the watching it on TV at home experience. That there's
Hmm.
something about being around other people and feeding off of their energy. And then, of course,
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
see like, live performances, then the actors get to feed off your energy too.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So, but I'm thinking we can definitely get her to Wicked, because we saw just whenever the shows came out, and the little song that Ariana Grande and who played Alphaba, yeah, good old what's her name? That's like the
Uh-huh.
Glinda and Alphaba. Yes, thank you. The, were besties, ride or die. That my daughter heard that song, and she's been singing that forever. So that was like a main thing, that she'd just be walking around singing that in the house. That I think we have her hooked on that, and so we might be able to get her to sit through
Cynthia
Wicked too.
Ervino. I had to look it up. Yeah,
Thank you.
Cynthia Erivo. That's who played. Sorry, I had to look it up because I couldn't remember either. I'm like, what is her name? But I know. And she was in The Greatest Showman also, which is another really good one. I haven't seen that live. I would love to see that live because, oh my gosh, I just want to get up and dance and sing every time I see it on TV. So I think that's one I need to go see in person.
And I haven't seen that live either, but I've seen some of the performances whenever that the movie was out, and Hugh Jackman was like at a, I think it was at one of the award shows that they
Mhm.
did a like the introductory thing of the greatest show, and having the dancers there and just so there's
I'm
something
sure.
with me
Yeah.
it was amazing. It wasn't like the thing from the show, but it was a live performance that they did in front of an audience,
Mm-hmm.
and just hearing the crowd cheering, and you see the reactions of the performers' faces as they play to the crowd. Another thing is like seeing a going to see a concert and having the the musicians being there in person. Your favorite band or whatever that they play to the crowd and the crowd is singing back. That reminds me of um, the movie Bohemian Rhapsody with Rami Malek Jr. being Freddie Mercury,
Mm-hmm.
and how his whole idea of coming up with the song "We Will Rock You" is to get the audience involved in the music live at a concert. And you feel that, and there's something about the the stomp stomp clap that even in the Greatest Showman song that they're doing that stomping,
Yeah.
and there's something about like I guess that's my affinity for tap dance too. That my I never did it, but my sisters were all in tap growing up, and then you see that in different musicals and stuff like that. That there's something with the rhythmic sound of the tapping that goes with the music that it plays all together. That it just speaks to me. Of course, I
Yeah,
could sit and
I'm
listen
with
to
you.
it.
I think it's like the heart. I think it's for me, I think it's because it's a lot like the sound of the heart of your heart. So like when you're tapping and when you're stomping, I mean you can just feel your heart beating. And I don't know, sounds corny, whatever. But for me, anytime you've got major stomping or clapping, it has to do with you can just feel it in your heart. You can feel the shaking in your heart. You can feel the heartbeat. So I love when they do that because it just really gets me wanting to get up and be part of it.
Oh, it's like that. Like, just if I'm at a football game, especially being here at the home of WVU and hearing the band and the drum line. And it's pretty nifty that the band used to practice by where the Coliseum is, where the basketball arena is. They were in a parking lot that's like right by the soccer stadium, but they now moved to an artificial turf thing that's about, oh, maybe a mile from our house. And so whenever they practice, which is like every day after school, like in the afternoon, like around 4 o'clock, the sound of it comes down a valley down a road, between the buildings, and like we can hear them practicing. And so hearing that live music every day is just pretty awesome. Even though if it's from a distance, the sound carries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sure does.
And you said about the stomping and the heartbeat, it's the performance Stomp. I'm not sure if they still perform or anything, but I remember that from back in the 90s of a very much percussion based live performance.
Mm-hmm.
That and Riverdance.
I don't think I ever, yeah, Riverdance I did see, but I've never seen Stomp. But I do remember it. I just never had got the opportunity to go see it. My daughter did tap. I never did either. But yeah, just the hard percussion stomping, I think, just as it's a way of really getting your attention with the music.
And you said it's like kind of sounds cheesy about being the heartbeat thing, but I think you got a good point
Mm-hmm.
there of how it drives you, and there's that visceral, response that you get to it.
Yeah, that's what it does for me. So that's, I mean, yeah, like I said, it does sound corny, but I think there's a lot in that. So.
I've even noticed that with me of there's other certain songs, whether it's a song with lyrics or if it's just an instrumental piece, that if it has a deep bass drum sound, that there's something to it that
Mm.
that speaks to me.
Mm-hmm.
I probably, if I would study the music enough, I could come up with a like a mathematical or timing thing with the notes of, all right, this is the thing that is my quote unquote my thing that really that I like, and that there's these characteristics to it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mine. I would have to do the same because yeah, I'm with you. I don't know that there's one certain I do know, but I will come back home from The Greatest Showman, like that one just really with the clapping, the stomping, the dancing, and the beat and the way it goes in the harmony. I love 3 part, 4 part harmony. That for me, I think is a lot what gets me. And I don't like it to be slow. I want it to be like upbeat and moving. And it just like I'll dance in my seat. I don't care. People are always like, oh my gosh. My daughter's like, quit butt dancing, mom. And I'm like, well, you don't, it's better than me getting up and dancing on my feet. So, but yeah. So songs like that, that just really, yeah, really get you moving and get your heart going, I guess.
Now, one of my favorite movies is Dirty Dancing, and they do have a theatrical version of it that I'm. It's on my list of something I would like to see. I'm also somewhat
That would be
intrigued by
good.
seeing, yeah, the Hungry Eyes song that there's something about that song that there's the montage in the movie whenever who's the regular dancer, and then Jennifer Grey's character, baby, then takes over for her, um, the one who got pregnant and
Yeah.
then couldn't dance.
The
Yeah, that she's teaching her the dance
yeah.
moves. There's something about that that
I want to say Cha Cha, but that's not her name. Yeah, I know who you're talking
yeah.
about.
So and there's also
I've had the time of my
okay
life when she goes jumping into his arms. That's my favorite
at the
part.
end the payoff at the end, yes.
Uh-huh.
And I think there's
Mm.
something too about then not just that, but then the reaction of her parents to seeing, oh, I get it. This is what she's been doing. This is why she loves it, and she's good at it. That whole, the climactic moment of that all coming together. I think there's that emotional response to it too, just beyond just the music and how it like leads into it. And then you see all the workers, who've been working on their dances. And if you watch the movie with the commentary, that they are pointing out little things of, oh look, here in this early scene where the kids are just dancing at their thing, look at what some of these dance moves. You're going to see that at the end whenever they do the whole like line. I'll call it a line dance because they're all moving together type thing.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Another one that I'm interested to see, I'm not sure if I'd like it or not, but Back to the Future, that there's a Back to the Future musical.
That
And
would
I've heard
be
some,
different.
yeah, I've heard some good things about it, but like,
I didn't
I
realize there
love,
was a musical of
yeah,
it. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against going if it was around, I would go see it. So,
I love the movies. You know, they're great
mhm,
and classic, but it's like,
for sure. I'm sure that it would be a lot of Michael J. Fox's character dancing all over the place everywhere because he's so full of energy. So,
yes, indeed.
so he would be all over the place.
And so, Jenny, do you have anything else you wanted to add before we go on to travel tips?
I don't think so. I was looking at my notes. I think we got everything.
Oh, there's,
Just how amazing Les Mis is. I mean, I just want to reiterate that if you haven't seen Les Miserables, you need to see it. It is powerful, powerful, powerful. So, and Phantom of the Opera. I mean, those are the two classics. So,
and one thing that you did not note that whenever you saw Hamilton in New York City with Leslie Odom Jr. on as the as Aaron Burr, after the show, you went to the backstage
oh,
door and
he came out and waved at everyone and stood there graciously signing autographs, taking pictures. Um, gosh, for a good half hour. Like it wasn't just a come outside, nod, and go back in. He was out there for a good 30 minutes, meeting with the fans, talking to people, taking pictures. And no other characters did that, but he knew that so many people were there to see him. So he took that time to do that. And I think that happens a lot on Broadway. I mean, I think, if you hang around long enough, like around the stage or curtain after curtain call, I think a lot of the characters will come out and do that.
that's the thing that you're not necessarily going to always get that with the big Broadway productions, but the smaller the production, the more chance you
Hmm.
are to meet the characters that they're going to come out and greet the
Sure.
fan. Because it's a bigger thing for them too. Because they're not Leslie Odom Jr. who's going to get this all
Right.
the time. It's getting their
Yeah.
15 minutes of fame and the
And it was cool
adulation.
since it was Leslie Odom Jr. that he did that. So, right.
Yeah, it reminds me of stories about Cal Ripken Jr., who was a shortstop for the Orioles back in the 80s and 90s and broke the Ironman streak of the most consecutive games played. That after games, he would stay and sign autographs until there were no autographs to sign. And that just says something about the character of the person.
Hmm. Yeah, because there's nothing in their contract that says they have to do that. Yeah, my husband's back here. He says it's the same thing. Like when we went to see Tim McGraw, he did the same thing, and he was sat out on the stage forever signing autographs. I mean, big time country singer. And he could have very easily been like, I've got another show tomorrow. I've got to get out of here. I've got to fly early or whatever. And no, he made time for the fans because he recognized that the fans are the reason he's where he's at. So,
That's great to hear. I'm now a bigger fan of Tim McGraw right now. I've always liked his music, but now I'm a bigger fan of him.
yeah, I love his music. And Faith Hill, they're both so down to earth as well. Just great, humble people.
I got to see Faith Hill in concert when I was in high school. It was right after my senior year,
Hmm.
and it was such a fabulous performance.
Oh, I'm sure. I've never seen her. I'm sure it was great.
So, do you want to give a travel tip, or was go to see Les Miserables and go see Phantom of the Opera? Is that your tip?
I mean, kind of my travel tip. I mean, I kind of already hit on it. I wanted to just stress the importance of theater, that theater fosters creativity, it preserves cultural heritage. It's just so important to everything. And again, places the audience in the same place. Um, and just makes it all come to life. I mean, just theater is so important, and especially in young kids. Take your young children to theater because it fosters brain growth, creativity in your child. Makes theater kids are smarter kids, in my opinion. They have more responsibilities, and they're a lot more they're a lot more responsible with their responsibilities. So yeah, and then just when traveling for theater, make sure you do your research. I always try to opt for the less crowded times. You definitely don't want to go like during a spring break or during the summertime or, during a big like holiday. You want to kind of try to um, s- figure out the less time and like a Wednesday matinee, like you were talking about, like going during the less uh, busy times to go during the week. And then always book your tickets in advance because, like Hamilton with Leslie Odom Jr., sold out super quickly. And a lot of the seats were going, like, a lot of the tickets were being resold for like $10,000. And obviously, I did not pay $10,000 for my ticket to Hamilton. So making sure that you do that research ahead of time and you're not like, oh, you know what, I think I'm going to go see Hamilton tomorrow, because then that's probably not going to happen. And then you're going to be sad that you went to New York, had plans of just walking up and seeing Hamilton, and hi, now you're not seeing Hamilton. So do your research, due diligence, and plan ahead. Those are my travel tips.
Mine's along those same lines of what Jenny was saying before, that whether it's a musical, a play, a symphony, whatever else, I strongly recommend seeing some type of production in a theater. And we've talked about all the reasons why. It could be your local theater, it could be part of another trip to a city that you're going to, and like, oh, hey, let's stop and see a play here. Look what's going to be here. Traveling through Disney on Broadway is going to be in town that day. Let's get tickets. Or it could be the main purpose of your trip of, hey, I'm going to New York because I'm going to see Hamilton or whatever else it is. Or I'm going to this city because Les Miserables is touring through there. That there is nothing like seeing a
Mhm.
live performance of artistic skill. And I have never been disappointed. I've been disappointed when seeing movies,
Nope.
but never with a live production. And in fact, often the live productions will exceed my expectations.
Every time. Yep, I agree.
Like I said, whenever we went to see The Addams Family, the musical, that I did not expect Broadway caliber performers to be in that play, but they were better than what I expected. And then once I found out that, oh my gosh, these are only at most high school kids, and some of these are grade school kids in elementary school. Oh my God, it was like this is great. So again, cannot speak highly enough of seeing live performances. Now, if you have a destination or an experience that you'd like to have us discuss on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, or if you'd like to share your favorite place to visit or a travel tip, feel free to contact me. I'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. Jenny, how can people get a hold of you?
Jenny at dreamsbydesigntravel.com, or you can go to my Facebook page at Dreams by Design Travel with Jenny.
Here at the podcast, we're on Facebook and X at Where Yinz Goin, Yinz, Y-I-N-Z, Goin, G-O-I-N with the apostrophe. And all this is going to be in the episode description. So if you want to contact us to book a trip or have any questions, you know where to find it. You don't have to have written this down, or in case you forget, you have a great place you can go back and find it. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend. If you like what you heard, let other people know. We'll spread the joy that we're having here. And it's a lot of fun. At least I have fun doing it. I don't know about anyone else, but
I have
Jenny,
fun.
thank you.
I enjoy
Yeah,
it. That's
see?
why I'm back for a third time.
And I think we're gonna have Jenny back for more stuff too.
I'll have to find something else that I've done, I guess.
So we'll put our heads together. So for everyone else,
Sounds good.
please, please join us next time. We're heading out, Nat. We'll see you later.